that's not something that everyone gets to experience, because I've also heard the whole debate about anything that you can get within a marriage, you can outsource, right? I've heard that whole debate too. I can get somebody to clean my house. I can get somebody to have my kids.
And all
I
that's
can
true.
get, and all that is true.
But
All that is
but you
true.
can't
But you're
buy the
not going to
connection.
you're not, what did you say?
You can't buy the connection.
You can't buy the connection. And at our base core, as human beings, we all crave connection. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After I Do. I'm your host, Nisha G, and I'm here with my husband,
Molito.
How's everyone doing
Molito.
out there? Molito. Hey, Molito.
Hey.
Hey. How's it going?
It's going.
Right. I feel like we're just kind of coasting. We kind of coasted through the week. At least I did.
My week was actually pretty good.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I was home before 7 o'clock every day.
Mm-hmm. That you were. And your daughter appreciates that. And now she says, like, she was like, Mom, is Dad going to be early or late? And I'd be like, I guess early, because I guess she considers late.
Late means
when she sleeps.
Yeah, if I come home when she sleeps.
So yeah, that was pretty nice. But how else was your week, babe?
It was trying.
You just said it was a good week. Now it's trying.
Yeah, it was trying.
Okay.
Sometimes good.
Explain. Detail.
Sometimes tests are good.
Okay. Detail.
I rolled with the punches. And I made it work for me.
Detail.
There was changes at work.
Oh, like what? I didn't hear about those.
You heard about them.
I didn't, because every time I ask you how your day was, you always say, terrible. So much so that our 6-year-old, when you asked her how was school yesterday, what did she say?
She said terrible.
She was like, terrible. And so he was like, terrible, because she's never said that before. And he's like, terrible? Why was it terrible? And she's like, oh, come on, you know, Daddy. And I'm like, that's because that's how she hears you talk about your day, like every day.
For the last 24 hours, all I really hear from her is Daddy Daughter Dance.
Yes.
I get to be Princess Tiara.
Yes. She had Daddy Daughter Dance, and she's really excited about that. I went and picked her up some tights yesterday. So the theme is princess theme, and she wanted to be Princess Tiana. So we got her Princess Tiana dress. We got her little wand, her little scepter, her crown, and she's got like the long evening gloves. She's got like a little stole that she's going to put on. And I thought the dress would be longer, but the dress comes to like the middle of her calf. And she picked out open-toe shoes, and it's like 50 degrees outside. So I'm like, I'm not sure how this is going to look, because she's got open-toe shoes. The dress comes to her calf, and I'm definitely going to be putting tights on her.
She's going to look great.
Yeah. I just feel like it might be one of those photos that when she's like 16 or 18, and we look back at it, and she's going to be like, Mom, what is happening in this picture?
And we're going to say, this is exactly what you wanted.
Out. That's what we're going to say. We're going to be like, boo, this was you.
Baby girl, this is you.
Baby girl, this is what you picked out. You wanted to be Tiana, and this is what you picked out.
You literally went on Amazon. You picked out all your stuff.
She did.
She actually did. What you wanted.
So I'm just thinking about like her hair, because the tiara that we bought, it was a child's tiara. But when it came in, it's like legit the size for maybe a teenage girl. It looks like my friend said it looks like a quinceañera tiara, because it's like a tiara, like a crown. It's crown, basically. And it's a little heavy, and it's got like those heavy duty hair clips and stuff with it. So I don't know. I know she's really excited, and that's all she's been talking about all week. It's like Daddy Daughter Dance. If there's one date she's kept up with for the weekday, she's like February 9th. It's February 9th.
Y'all know we record on Friday. So anyway,
yeah.
She woke up this morning, she's like, Dad, today's the dance. I said, I know, Phoenix. You won't let me forget. You have not let me forget.
We haven't let me forget.
We finna go in this school. She
She
finna
never stays. Like last year, you think you guys stayed for like an hour and a half, and then she was over it once she saw all
we
her
finna go into
friends.
school. She finna drink this sugary punch and eat these cookies and cupcakes. She gonna shake a leg for about 10 minutes and be like, "Dad, I'm ready to go." I'm already prepared.
Because last year she was so pumped, and I think it's also because she didn't know what to expect. Like it was her first dance. Everything was really new. Dad bought her home a rose and like properly asked her to the dance. Like it was like a whole little thing. We did the whole thing last year, and so
We ain't doing none
she
of that this year.
yes, you are.
I ain't
And,
buying no rose.
and so she was like really excited. And so she didn't know what to expect. And then once she saw what everything entailed, she was like, okay, well,
She danced like 2 or 3 songs with her friends, and she was like, "Dad, let's go.
she was like, that was fun. But
Let's go." I said, "You wanna go?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Let's go."
she was like, yeah, that was fun.
I
But we
think I
can
did. Did I take
go.
her to dinner afterwards? I don't know. I
I don't
forgot.
remember.
I
That I
probably
don't
should.
remember. Probably not. But yeah. So
But
there's
I
that.
did
So
not
I've spent most of
dance.
my week just kind of like trying to prepare for that, and then doing the other weekly due
Mm,
diligences. um yeah, but that's it. I mean, I had a pretty uneventful week outside of my regular norm.
really? Because
um
yesterday you complained about your mouth all day.
oh, well, because I had to get dental work done,
Mm,
and I'm convinced that he, like, I don't know, like, I think my tooth is shorter.
mm.
Like, it's weird. Like when I brushed my teeth, and you know how you can run your tongue across your teeth. I ran my tongue across my teeth in the back, and I feel like my tooth is like shorter. I feel like he took some of my tooth, and
Mm.
I can't be for certain. But when I feel the other tooth on the other side, it feels taller than the other tooth on my left side, and I don't remember feeling like I had a short tooth on my left side prior going into the dentist office.
Mm.
But when you get so darn numb, you don't know what the hell they're doing in there.
I'm gonna get you to tape for me.
Huh?
I'm gonna get
Record a what?
a tape for me.
A tape?
Hmm.
What type of tape?
Just with you randomly talking about stuff
Why?
because it puts me to sleep. I'm so used to hearing your voice. if, if, and I think I've conditioned myself to only pay attention like when you serious. Cause like when you start talking, I said, "Oh, mm."
So, okay.
I'll be listening.
No, you clearly don't. You literally just said, I've been conditioned to fall asleep when you talk.
I'll be listening. I just be like, "Oh."
But see, now it'll be a problem if I start talking to somebody else who wants to listen, who enjoys my voice, who wants
Uh,
to hear me talk. Then he gonna be talking about, oh, you think that's appropriate?
do you think that's appropriate?
I will think it's appropriate
Oh,
if
okay.
if when I talk to you, all you do is fall asleep.
Does that transfer to other areas in the relationship?
Like what? If you start falling asleep, if you start fall, if you start falling asleep. Now listen here.
Because
I
you were talking, and I was listening. I was like, I don't really care about this. I was like, I said, oh. I said, this ain't important.
I feel like I
I
feel
don't know.
I feel like this is a perfect segue into what we're talking about. And
I
especially in the
swear.
first
Hold on.
listen up in the
I
first
swear that
part of the
wasn't
clip that
playing.
y'all are gonna hear,
I. s-
you're gonna be like, after hearing the crap he just said, when she says what she says, just listen. You're gonna be like, yes, this is us women, we do put up with a lot. Uh-huh.
What do you put up with?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I just said when it's important, I listen.
You don't.
I do.
Okay, listen to what you said before. You said, I think I have conditioned, meaning that you have like made a valid effort within yourself and your own mental. I think, your words, I think I've conditioned myself to fall asleep when you talk.
Okay, listen.
No,
Hold on. No, no,
no,
no. Let me clarify. Let me
no, there
clarify.
is no
There
clarification. You
is.
said
There
what you
is.
said.
There is. Because to the people out there watching and listening,
Mm-hmm.
I've been with my wife 22 years,
Mm-hmm.
going on 22 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
My wife is a talker,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even when we was kids, she would talk, 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 talk. In 22 years, I have heard every story.
You haven't.
every childhood story,
You haven't.
every high school story I'm a part of. I've heard the college stories by now. From coming home. It's like at this point we don't have much new material to talk about. We talk about our child and things that of excitement that happened that day. So a lot of times when you be talking, especially when you start talking about stuff that oh, like here she goes. She's talking about Law and Order. Or she's talking about this who killed who on whatever she's listened to this week. I'm like, she know this is not gonna hold my attention. I have to really try.
But
But hold on. But when like we're having a conversation, like a serious conversation, I'm listening to you. I'm not falling
okay.
asleep then. But when you just like talking because you just you and your chatty Cathy mode, and I'm like, oh okay, and I'm like, mm, mm.
But I show interest when you sit there and you talk to me about your anime comic of 200 chapters.
Hold on, hold on,
No,
hold
no,
on, hold
no,
on, hold on,
no,
hold on,
no.
hold on, hold on,
I let
hold
you
on,
finish.
hold on,
I let
hold
you
on.
finish.
The
Hush
difference.
it. Hush it.
Why you gotta
Hush
really
it.
hush it?
Yes, hush it.
You want to fight on the
Hush
episode?
it.
Because
Because I let you finish.
okay. Did you
So,
though?
yeah, I did. I didn't say anything.
Because
I let you
when I
finish.
tell you my story,
I let you finish.
I have
In a
inflictions.
nutshell, in a
I have
nutshell,
inflictions in
in a
my voice.
nutshell, I got to get deep into the mic. In a nutshell, you all just heard my husband say that he has zero interest. He has zero interest in anything that I have
That's
to
not true.
say.
That's not
That
true.
listen to me. You just heard him say he has zero interest in anything that I have to say that is not what he deems important,
Or
or if we're
entertaining.
not having an important conversation,
If it's not
right? So
entertaining,
anytime that I am speaking, as we already have learned previously, he has conditioned himself to fall asleep when listening to me. So even though his eyes are open, he's basically just admitted that he's checked out. So the next time I pitch a fit about when I feel like he's not listening to me, and then he becomes combative about how he is listening to me, you just heard that he said he basically doesn't listen.
I'll listen to you.
You're not listening to me.
I'm saying when we're having discussions, I'm listening.
Well,
What
okay,
I'm
well, we're having
saying
a discussion now.
what I'm saying is no. You were telling the people about your week. I knew about your week. You were telling people about your week.
And you didn't know about
That
my week.
I did.
You have no idea what went on with
I
me
ask you
last
about your
week.
day out every day.
You absolutely do not, Maurice.
I don't say how was your day.
No, Maurice,
Okay.
I ask you about your day every single day,
Okay.
and every day you say, "Ow, it was work," or you say, "Ow, it was terrible."
I walk in, I get you a kiss. Say, hey babe, how was your day?
No, Maurice, you walk in, you
You're
give
not
me a
gonna cap
kiss,
it.
and you say, "Hey, babe," and I say, "Hey, babe, how was your day?" Work.
You're not gonna cap. You're not gonna cap me. You cap it. I
I'm
asked you
not capping.
about your day.
Okay,
I even called you throughout the day. I'm like, what you doing? What's going on?
that is true.
And I'll call
But we're
you,
talking about.
but I'll call you throughout the day and say, how your day going? So I asked you about your I
Okay.
don't?
Yeah,
You
you
finna
do.
cap? You finna cap?
I wasn't capping
You don't care.
anything.
So by the time I get home at night, I generally know what happened already. That's why I do it. I get the stories out the way before I get home. So when I get home, I can do what I want to do. Everything's a plan. Don't act like you can sit here and huff and puff all you want.
I just want for the record. I just want this for the record that you said that you give two shits about what I'm talking about. when
That's
I'm
not
when I'm
that's not
speaking.
that's
I just
not
want that
true.
for the record.
That's not true all the
I
time.
just want that for the record.
That's not true all the time.
So
That's not true all the time. Because
so
let's be honest, your storytelling skills are a little lackluster.
oh
I mean, when I tell you my stories, there's intrigue,
no, there isn't.
there's action, there's inflection in my voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving you a whole performance. You talk in the same tone, and I'll be like, I'm, you're mentally drowning yourself out because it's like, doom, 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 doom. But I be trying to listen, though. I be trying. It's not my fault that your voice is smoothing. I be
But
listening to you, I'm like, oh my God,
you
like,
think that I want to sit here and be you do you honestly think this?
what?
Let me inform you of, excuse my language, but let me inform you of the type of shit my husband will call to talk to me about, since he gives me such intriguing and lustrous conversation. He calls and tells me about the shit he took
Cause you want me to know.
and what his shit was like.
You do the same thing.
No, no, Maurice, I don't purposely call you
I'll be like
and start a
Starbucks.
conversation with my
Starbucks
bowel
is working.
movements.
Starbucks is working today.
Listen here, but
Coffee was getting to it.
but he gives me such intriguing conversation. Hold on, and then you follow that up so eloquently
Wait, what?
with the current chapter of anime that you're on.
It's going
And
down.
how Suzusa Kake,
What?
whoever the character is, yeah, whoever the character is at that time, you follow up a shit conversation with Suzusa Kate and how he's the father of the ghost son who's a warrior who everybody is after but nobody can get because he
I
lives
don't even
in
know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You got your story
That's
all mixed
exactly
up.
how I feel when you're speaking about those
You know
things.
what, people? People, you've heard it here.
But
I will
this
no
is
longer
the difference.
do this.
This is the difference between you and I. Not once do I ever make you feel like you cannot call and talk to me about your shit or about your anime or about what's going on at work, about anything else. I just want you to know, since we're putting everything out on Front Sheet, I do not give a damn.
About my anime?
I do not give a damn about the storyline of your anime. I do not give a damn about your shit that you took at work. I do not give a damn about the drama that's happening at work, okay? Okay? But I wanted to create a space for you to feel comfortable to have those discussions with me because I genuinely want to know what's going on with you, not necessarily caring about, like, you know, what you're reading, but I do care to know that you're reading. Like, but
It's
you know what?
going
Now that
down.
everything is on Front Street, I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
That's
Okay?
fine.
So keep it to yourself.
I'm still gonna tell you.
No, I'm not gonna listen.
It's fine.
And you know what I'm gonna say? I'm
This is
a
an anger-
whistle.
This is an angry response
Yep,
to what I said.
It is. I'm a whistle. So next time you call me,
capping, y'all.
next time you call me and you be like, babe,
It's going down.
babe,
It's going down.
I just dropped a deuce. I'm gonna be like,
hold on. Okay, so hold on. Let's keep it a bean.
oh,
when I
God.
call,
Stop saying let's keep it a bean.
that's my dude. He be having me rolling. When I call and I take stuff like that, you be like, me too, babe. Come on.
Because I try to make. I see. There's a difference between you
now
and
you
I.
match energies now.
I'm trying to create a welcoming space for you to speak to me.
Have I ever stopped you from speaking?
One of the most common things and responses that you can do is like, oh, me too. You know, I've experienced this too, right? And if it's something that you've genuinely experienced, like it's a genuine response. Like, yes, I've experienced this too, babe.
Okay.
See?
We starting off this wild. You wild.
No, you started it. What are you talking about? You started it.
You wild, me.
You started it.
You wild.
You absolutely started it.
Babe,
so,
I'm not saying every time you talk to me.
Maurice,
I'm
what
just
you
saying,
said you cannot take back.
I'm not trying to take it back.
Okay.
But you wasn't talking to me. You was recapping your week to the people. And I'm like, and I'm listening to it. And I'm like, man, like your voice is really soothing.
Don't try to clean it up.
Babe, I've heard your voice for so long.
Listen here, you don't ever have to worry about me speaking to you again. I will only speak to you if absolutely necessary. You do not have to worry.
You're not going to sit here and cap for these people.
You do not have to worry about me again. So when you think that I'm walking around the house with an attitude and you're like, why aren't you talking? I'm going to say, why talk? No one listens.
It's not the same.
Why talk?
It's not the
All
same
I do
thing.
is put people to sleep.
Oh my God. Apparently not, because you were at the Phoenix for 3 hours last night and she did not fall asleep.
So she did fall asleep. I was enjoying the chapter, so I kept going. She had been fell asleep. I was enjoying the chapter. We're on book number 4 of Harry Potter, the Goblet of Fire.
How did we get here?
And I was enjoying reading chapter 3, so I finished it even past the time she was
I can't even be honest with you. You just took it like...
No, I'm happy that you were honest with me because now you don't have to sit through the torture of listening to me.
It's not torture.
Okay, well now you don't have to sit there and like wait till you fall asleep.
I didn't say you were torturing me. I just said that sometimes...
No, you said pretty much all the time.
Not all the time.
I didn't say all the time. You said every time you talk. That's okay. Should we run the tape back?
We ain't got to run it back. We ain't got to run it back.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying,
you guys can rewind it if you like.
What I meant to say is sometimes when you're talking, when you're not talking to me, Perfect
When you're
example.
not wait, now
Hold
you
on.
done added
Yeah,
when
hold
you're
on.
not talking to me.
Hold on.
That's not what you
Hold
said,
on.
Jamel.
Perfect example, right? What was that, last week? Whatever the day when I came home and Phoenix had to play date. When you're sitting here talking to your friend, I don't want to put names out there. When you're sitting here talking to your friend, I had my head on your lap. You was talking, I was like, this is comfortable. And then you were all like, I was falling asleep to you
You
talking.
also had just come home from work, so you were tired.
I'm always tired.
You should get that checked out because that's not
You know
normal.
this is a fact. You always tired,
Okay.
babe. I can
Okay, well let's
always
not
take a
don't
nap.
try baby, you can't clean it up. What you said, you've already said. I
I'm
can't
not
I
trying to clean
can't
it up.
but I can't unhear it.
Your
So
your voice puts me to sleep from time
I
to
can
time.
okay, no, that's not what you said. You said every time you talk.
Babe, this is a
You said
whole
every time you
tangent.
talk,
Okay.
unless we're talking about something serious.
Yeah.
Okay, so until I have something serious to discuss with you, I will no longer be speaking to you.
Okay. That's fine.
So I can help you out that way. I don't want you to be sitting there and talking about me in your head like,
I never say that. I never say that.
oh no, this is what you probably say. Oh, this is good. This is gonna put me right to sleep. Yes, keep talking.
I'll be like,
Keep talking.
okay. And then every now and again you say something like, oh, what? And then my mind, like I'm listening. I may not be actively listening.
No, you are actively listening. You're not empathetically
Okay, right.
listening.
So I'm actively listening in the moment. So I can repeat to you what you said. And when I feel like, and when my brain like, hey, what she said was just important, then I run it back. And I'm like, oh yeah.
But see, now what if my brain is telling me that everything I'm speaking to you about is important, but your brain is only picking
Well,
and choosing what's important?
well, babe, that's the
That's
thing.
where miscommunication comes in, guys.
But that's part of the dynamic. Everything that's important to you is not important to me.
Oh,
And likewise, everything that's important to me is not important to you.
oh.
That's human nature.
Hmm.
Just because it's important to me don't mean it's important to you, and vice
See, it
versa.
should be important to you if it's important to me, though, because if it's
That's not
important,
how it
I
works.
know, but if it's important to you, it's important to me.
I don't give a
I
damn.
guess I just care more.
I don't give a damn about Stanley cups. I
I
don't give
guess
a
I
damn
just,
about Starbucks
I didn't
cups.
say it's okay, but those aren't important. Those are things that
I'm
I
just
like.
talking about.
Those Not part of a hobby. Like those,
I'm
it's
talking
different.
about. I'm talking about things in. I'm talking about when we're talking about things in general. I'm not talking about for certain things. I'm talking about in general. I'm not, like I said. If you're talking to me about something that's important, that means it's serious, and I'm listening. But when you're talking about Stanley cups, Starbucks cups, anything related to with crafting, now when you start giving me the tea, I'm listening. I'm like, what? She said what?
Yeah, that's because you're full of drama. That's why.
Says the person that's spilling the drama. She's spilling the tea. I'm cleaning it up.
What?
Let's get into it. We don't want the
Oh
whole
my
tangent.
gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't. So, I feel like this just kind of takes me into just the topic that we were going to talk about, which is why get married? Why?
Because
Like
we love each other.
that was like an example of like, if you're single, you don't really have to worry about these things. You know what I mean? Like if I was single, if I was dating him, like I do date him because he's my husband, but if I was dating
You
him
do?
outside of
You date
being
me?
married, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I date
I
you.
date you.
You date me? Do you really?
I take you out. I buy you
Oh,
gifts.
okay. You date me
I
because
call you. I send
see
you
now
text
and now
messages.
I just feel like that whole thing about not listening to me is taking me to different avenues and stuff because now I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you've been making a valid effort to date me more,
Because that's
but
what you
that's
asked.
because
I listen to you.
okay, but you shouldn't have I shouldn't have to say like, oh, date me more. You should want to date me more. And if you don't want to date me more, then that makes me think like you just don't really want to
You
date me.
you don't experience you the way I experience you,
Absolutely. That is
and
absolutely
vice
true. And I tell
versa.
you that all the time as
And
well.
vice versa. So if you experience you the way
Uh-huh.
I experience you,
I wouldn't
sometimes
want
you
to be around you, around
sometimes
me.
sometimes you wouldn't want to date yourself either.
No, I love myself. I always like being around myself.
I like being around myself too. I'm talking
That's why
about
that's
me.
why that's why you get
Uh,
annoyed when I go off and do things on my
no,
own.
I don't.
Yeah, you
Just
do.
tell me that you're leaving.
I don't have to tell you I'm leaving though.
You're a married woman. I need to know where you're going.
Oh, that got serious real quick, huh?
Because
You're a married woman.
because if I walked out this door right now,
I wouldn't say
you
anything
get
to you.
mad. Stop the mother. You know what? I'm about to leave. You get so mad. Let me cut my location off and leave this house. You gonna start texting me, and if I don't
You should just
respond,
do what I do and leave the phone here.
and then oh, on purpose, huh? And then if I don't respond, you gonna say, "Well, stay at that bitch house."
No, I wouldn't say stay at that bitch. I would just say wherever you were. Like, I'm pretty sure you could stay there overnight. Like, if you were gone long
You
enough,
be stop. Don't cat for these people.
ain't nobody cabin.
Let's get into it. Let's just get into
Anywho,
it because this is gonna be a long. I'm sorry, people. It's gonna be a long episode because my wife.
or now, see, now you've created a time restraint. So now we got to like speed through this.
No, we don't.
Anywho, so I came across a clip and I actually listened to the entire interview. It's like a 2.5 hour interview. So the clip is also a little bit longer, but I just want to talk about just not just the gist of what she was saying, but a portion of what she was saying in regards to marriage. This came from, I believe it's called the Hardly Initiated podcast, and there was a debate on basically whether marriage is essential or not, and does marriage benefit women. So just roll the clip. We'll play a little bit of
Mm,
the clip and we'll talk about it.
When I hear long marriages, a lot of these women have put up with so much just to say that they stayed married. At the end, what what does anybody really gain outside of a title and for the specifically for the woman, because it's the women who are having the complaints, and it is the women who need to be full and whole to be able to do what the nature of the feminine is to do, which is to nurture and sustain life. If you take the life away from a woman and you deplete her, there's only so much she can give after that. And typically, when a male has gotten everything that he wants out of her, he might not end the marriage. He might not end the marriage, which is mainly a lot of the times why the divorces are on women to actually initiate and go through. But he might not end the marriage. He may go get his needs met from other places, right? And sustain that marriage while she's in a relationship by herself. Now, the time might be ticking and ticking and ticking.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts about that?
I ain't got nothing to say.
No. No, sir. No,
I ain't got
sir.
nothing to say because you ain't
No,
gonna like what I
sir.
say.
No, babe, I want to know. Like, what's the point
This
if you're
this
not?
this this whole like notion that you know.
Now, hold on. Before you start, just sorry to cut you off. I just want to say before you start, remember you're looking at a snippet
Okay,
of a 3 hour
okay. Well,
conversation.
this implied notion that men use up, and then instead of leaving, they go get their needs met elsewhere. I don't think. Why there may be some truth to that, I don't think all men do that. And I think my problem I have with a lot of these, you know, battle of the sexes clips and podcasts is that they try to generalize everyone into certain categories to fit their narrative. Now, if that was the case, when when your shoulder popped, I should have went down and got the paperwork because apparently I didn't use up all your youth when now that your shoulder popping. I should have just said, hey, you know, that's it, you know. And to be honest with you, what do we gain from marriage is like when you marry the right person and you have two people that are willing to work, you gain a lot. You gain a lifetime of growth, of struggle, of happiness, of overcoming. But you experience it's about the experiences that you um earn or go through with that said person, right? You continue to evolve and grow and love each other more and more throughout the years, but you both have to be in it. And let's not say that anybody who enters into any type of marriage or long-term relationship, both sides are benefiting for in some degree, right? That's the whole point of it. Mostly there's a benefit for you, there's a benefit for me. So let's not say like, oh, just because one person got what they wanted or what they're after faster than the other, it doesn't mean that one person is good or bad because of that. I think the whole point of marriage, and again, this is about when we talk about doing the work, the whole point of marriage is to be with someone that understands you and loves you to the core, to your core. And if you chose poorly, then yeah, I can see you going through these kind of things where as soon as things get tough, as soon as things are not going a certain way for one of the one or another, that they look for ways out, or they go out and they try to fulfill those voids or holes somewhere else. I can see that if you're not together for the right choice. But in our situation, since I can really only speak for me, there has been many times in our marriage where I felt like I was not getting what I needed or what I deserve. That did not that did not make me step out and go obtain these things from my outside source. That made me come to you and say, "Hey, babe, this is what I feel I'm lacking." Regardless of whether you agreed or not, I'm telling you, I'm putting this information in front of you. So I don't like clips like this and things like this because I feel like it's in a very general term, and I feel like a lot of people try to speak for the masses when you can only really speak on your situation and your
Your
experience,
personal experience.
right? Because just like you know, just like like whatever grandma said, like grandma had her experience with grandpa had his experience with grandma.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we've heard stories of where grandma wasn't probably was the one in the wrong, and grandpa just was just doing what was right. Like so, it's like I don't want to hear people generalize marriage to a degree like this when you can only speak on what you have experienced because I don't think that, you can have all the data, you can have all the polls. It still matters to what are the biases of the people taking these polls. Are they interviewing people that have been married 20, 30 years successfully and gone through bad times and then recoup and got back on good terms? Or are they interviewing people who's been married 2, 3 times? And every time things go sideways or go south, they jump out of one marriage and head to another because they feel they need to be pair bonded with somebody. That's why I don't like clips like this because it's the generalization of stuff. It's like no, I think clips like this teach people the wrong thing because us as humans, we all look for connections, right? And marriage to me is it's a connection. It's one of the strongest connections you're going to have outside of your children, right? Outside of your children and your mother. Those are the because like you because a lot of you're always gonna have a connection to your mother. The connection to your father may not be as strong depending on the circumstances of your upbringing, but you're always gonna have a connection to your mother regardless whether she was in your life or not because she is your mother. You came from her, and you're gonna always have a connection with your children. And I think marriage to me, marriage is the third one. If you marry the right person and you are in love and you're actually actively working on both sides to maintain that connection is worth the title of marriage, the title of husband, the title of wife. And that's another thing. People don't take these titles seriously. We live in a day and an age where everything is just glorified to be put on a pedestal. Oh, I'm a wife. I'm a husband. I do this. It doesn't matter. The title does not matter if you are not putting in the work behind the title. Like, don't go out here and obtain titles just to say I'm this, because a
Mhm.
lot of people go out here and do this. There's nothing that you can't go out here. You can be a self-proclaimed anything, but what are you doing or what have you done to actually earn that title?
Mhm.
I can say I'm the baddest person on the block.
Who have you fought?
Whoever, right? Who have I bested? You know what I'm saying? And so it's not like so when I hear things like this and it's in a general sense, it's like, yeah, in a general sense, when you look, especially when you look at marriage legally from a man's perspective, it doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make sense at all. Like the risk is here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like and but I think there are people who get married because of societal pressures and they don't necessarily are married for the proper reasons. But on the flip side, I feel like we were married for the proper reasons. I mean, we lasted this long, which we should be, hopefully, you know. And so I just feel like these
Only time will
generalizations,
tell.
okay, these generalizations, I feel like they hurt the marriage culture, especially black marriage.
I can agree with that. Um, so in the interview, her angle was basically from the perspective of marriage doesn't what you was trying to act like you was going to sleep. I can't. I'm not doing this with you today. Her perspective was that marriage does not benefit women in particular. Okay. From her research and her own personal experience, which if you listen to the interview, she never really spoke of her personal experience until she was asked about it. And the reason why she didn't want to put in her personal experience, because she didn't want that to look like a confliction with what she was trying to say, or people using her personal experience as her fuel to you know what she was trying to say. But essentially, she was saying that marriage does not benefit women. Men and women are so different that marriage as a whole doesn't benefit really either party, but mainly, mainly women. And when she spoke in the beginning of the clip, when she talked about what she found was marriage is mostly about women being able to put up with things, and essentially men continuously defaulting to their base self. So when a man is dissatisfied, when your needs are not being met, when you aren't getting essentially your way, you're going to default to whatever your human nature is to do, which is to essentially self-soothe and to get all of your needs met and get the things that you want. And when she talked about he's not going to initiate the divorce, it's almost like the whole idea of having your cake and eating it too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, you're not going to end the divorce, or you're not going to ask for a divorce, because what you have at home is stable. You're not willing to give up your family. You're not willing to give up the stability that your wife does provide you. However, there's aspects of your marriage and your life that you're not completely satisfied with. And if you can just get that portion taken care of, everything else will be fine. It's almost like a compartmentalized, thought process, right? It's like everything at home is fine. I have a roof over my head. I have a great wife who takes care of home and our children. She's bared our children. My children are great. Everything is great. It's just this one little aspect of my life. If I can just get this taken care of, that'll be the icing on the cake. But why do I need to disrupt my entire life to take care of this one aspect? And that's what she talks
I'm
about.
not gonna leave the 80 to get this 20.
Hold on, but okay, and I understand what you're saying when you're referring to the fact that her generalizing things, but she also does break down a lot of statistics as well. And one of the top two reasons of divorce is financial instability and cheating, adultery, of people both, we know men and women cheat, but of men who step outside their marriage to chase that 20 when they clearly have 80 at home. She goes into like the whole study about also why men and women should not live together, which I found very, very interesting. Um,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, it was honestly, it was a
you can
really
move out.
great, it was a really great interview to listen to, because the opposite side of that was being discussed is what the original purpose of marriage was from a biblical perspective, and what the role of a man is, and what the role of a husband is, and what the role of a wife is, and what the role of a woman is. So he gave it more from a biblical perspective, and she's giving it more from a scientific, statistic based and worldview perspective, right? So going back to what are the benefits of marriage, or is it even worth it? Like how she said marriage doesn't benefit women. So I think about what benefits for me personally, because like you said, you can only speak to your own personal experience. For me, when I think about the benefits of marriage for myself, I think about the emotional support, right? So creating a bond with you, okay?
I thought I'm not listening though.
Listen, listen. I didn't say just listening. I said emotional support. Anyway, don't get me off. Don't get me off track. I can't stand you. The emotional support, right? So when I am having a vulnerable moment, or when there is something that I do need to say or get off my chest, that I know that I wouldn't just run and randomly tell anybody, or even tell like my best friend or anything like that, I do know that if I needed to come to you and have a completely like naked vulnerable moment, I know
Hmm.
that I can do that. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I know that I can shed who I am to the world, and I can get in front of you bare and all, and just say what it is I need to say, and you not look at me, you not look at me in the whatever the fear that I have in my head that you will see me, like it changed the perspective that you have about me, right? Because you know who I am deep down inside. So that's not something that everyone gets to experience, because I've also heard the whole debate about anything that you can get within a marriage, you can outsource, right? I've heard that whole debate too. I can get somebody to clean my house. I can get somebody to have my kids.
And all
I
that's
can get
true.
and all that is true.
But
All that is
but you
true.
can't
But you're
buy the
not going to
connection.
get you're not what did you say?
You can't buy the connection.
You can't buy the connection. And at our base core, as human beings, we all crave connection. It's one of the main reasons when you're born, that's why you get an hour of skin to skin with your mother. Because there is something that's within us, the energy that's within us. We have to connect. It's like drinking water. We don't survive without drinking water. You don't survive without real human connection. That is a real thing. You do not get mentally strong without real human connection. You do not become more emotionally stable and progressive without human connection. So, if in for that reason, yes, you can have a connection with somebody outside of being married, but like I said, how vulnerable really are you being with the person that you know in your mind there's nothing you can do or say that will push them away when you're having a vulnerable moment,
Hmm.
right? And I just feel like not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that. And even some married people can't do it. Let's be honest there too, right?
Hmm.
But when I think about one of the perks and benefits that for me personally that I get in my marriage, that's one of them.
Hmm.
That's a big one for me. What would you say was one of your benefits? Or did you fall asleep already?
That thing.
What?
Huh?
Huh?
That thing.
That thing.
That's my benefit.
Demel.
Yes, Sade.
I'm being serious. Yes,
Uh,
that could be a benefit, but I mean, if you want to tie that back into emotional support, because you can get it anywhere.
it ain't the same.
It ain't. Say it again for the people.
I ain't saying it's the best. I just said it ain't the
It
same.
ain't the same. It ain't gonna be the same.
Yeah. I don't know what I benefit, honestly,
Really?
from being married. No, because I feel like,
You listed some earlier, but I
well,
mean, go
I
ahead.
mean, like, here's the thing. When 22 years,
Hmm.
right? All the years we were dating, like, I don't feel like I've the only thing that's really changed since we've, switched over from to husband and wife, uh, is to me, honestly, is we have a child. Like, that's the only
Hmm.
thing that changed. So I don't think that, I feel like, even though we didn't have official titles, kind of operated. We've kind of been operating as married for most of the 22 years that we've been together. So I would say where I benefit now is that the things that you do for the family, not necessarily for me, but how you care for our daughter,
Hmm.
how you take care of the house. Though I benefit from things like that, and I also benefit from having knowing that I have someone that I can be vulnerable with at times, and that I can come to you in sensitive moments and express myself to you and have you listen and sometimes not judge. Even though I can tell you're judging me sometimes through your eyes, you're like this more,
But
But that would be my benefits. I like again, like I said, like I don't. Another benefit, I guess the biggest benefit I guess I can say is peace of mind that you give me. Like I don't, I'm not, I'm never thinking that you know there's something that could happen or something that could occur or that we could go through that would drive us apart. I feel like even when we are at each other's throats, it's still me and you against the world. Like no matter what internal issues we may be dealing with at that time, when time comes for us to unify, we're going to unify. Now, if we may unify and go right back to beefing because we because we need to resolve this, but I do think that we do a great job of being a single unit when it comes to just us. I'm not with the child because sometimes she making us look bad, but just us. You know,
Now she be making us look bad. Okay, so just really quick, fun fact. Did you know that men who are married tend to live longer, healthier lives than compared to unmarried men?
not black man though.
Did Did you know that?
You still gonna outlive me. So what?
But why do
I'm
you
gonna die at 72 instead of 71.
no? But why would you think that would be true?
Some sort of peace.
That your partner provides for you?
Yes.
Is it more of like the balance of life? Because because here's the thing. This is what people will say. You could still do all of those things on your own. Like I've told you before too, right? If I wasn't here, you would still feed yourself. If I wasn't here, you would still, I would
Would
hope
I?
you
Would I feed myself, or would I go buy something?
that's still feeding yourself.
But I wouldn't get these quality
You would
meals. You know how I get my lazy streaks.
you would still feed yourself. You would still clean your clothes. You would still um what go to work. You would still
The only
clean your apartment or clean your house.
I have abroad doing that.
You would still do all of those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you are in a relationship, in a marriage, you don't necessarily have to take on those things
Mm-hmm.
alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like I mean, let's just say like finances, right? We'll use for the example like when I was working. That's also a benefit to your life is
Mm-hmm.
having two incomes. Just like that would be a benefit to my life, right? That wouldn't
I
necessarily
miss those days.
that you know what I'm saying? Like they're almost around the corner. Um so but that's a benefit to you,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's a benefit to
No,
me
that's
as
a
well.
benefit to us
That's okay, but what I'm saying is
because
that we both benefit
yeah, we
from
both
that.
benefit
If
that
you were
because
a
I'm
single
saying
male and
right.
you had to pay all that you know what I'm saying? Like
But let's be real. Let's keep it 100.
keep it a beat.
If I was a single male right now with my income right now, I'd be okay.
Okay,
I'd be when I cut out these dance fees and these gymnastics fees and the
good.
Starbucks cups
Goodbye.
because I wouldn't be taking no fancy trips. I could feed myself for $100 a week, probably less than that. I give me some great northern beans, ham hocks, or some turkey necks. Oh my god, that sounds so good right now.
But see, since you're with me,
I ain't got to
how
worry about that.
often do you eat ham hocks?
I don't because you can't cook them.
No, it's because you're not gonna cook them in my house either. That's why. And ergo, I'm saving you a little bit. So there's your extra year.
Right there.
There's see, you have a sounding voice at home.
Oh, is
So
that
I'm
what it
sure
is?
that aids in it. You have a sounding voice.
I have a wife that lets
But
TikTok take her down rabbit holes of conspiracies.
anyway, but when she but I think the thing too that really stuck out to me is when she talked about how marriage is just women putting up with a bunch of crap for a long
I don't
time.
agree with that
Why don't you agree with
because
that?
I put up with your crap.
I think we both put up with each other's crap.
Exactly.
We both, but I
But
mean,
hold on.
and then I could be biased because I'm a woman, but I am gonna go out on a limb and say that I put up with more crap than you.
No,
Yeah,
you don't.
I'm gonna say it.
It's not that. It's not that you put up more crap with me. It's just that you're more vocal about the crap you put over. A lot of times, us as men, and I'm speaking for all men.
Oh, you can't generalize because
I'm
you
gonna
just said you
generalize
hate
this.
generalizing.
I'm gonna generalize this because I know this to be fact.
Uh-huh.
We will overlook the small things and just say it is what it is,
And just go buy it.
and just go by it, and we'll just deal with it because it's not worth the effort
Right.
to correct or confront it because it's so minute, right? So we deal with the same amount of mess. It's just that I feel personally when it comes to the women dealing with our mess, everything's more impactful because you guys interpreted things different. As a man, we prioritize what's important and what's not, and if it's not really going to affect the day to day, we can let it slide.
I don't think that's what it is. I think what it is that we also know that we have to handle your ego.
I don't have an
Because
ego.
yes, you absolutely do have an ego, and I'm going to generalize and say that most men, enough if not all of them, have an ego. So the things that they're just like how you said
I have an ego.
there's things that you guys don't discuss, and it's you prioritize it in your mind. We also have to do the same thing, because I also have to be aware that whatever it is that I have with you or against you, I have to be mindful of your ego, because I also know that your ego cannot handle a lot. Your
Are you
ego
saying I'm fragile?
your let me say it for the people in the back who didn't hear. Okay,
You trying to say I'm fragile?
let me say
Wow.
it for the people. I didn't say you were fragile.
Wow.
I
That's
just know,
crazy.
because knowing you, I know that your ego cannot handle
Like
certain
what?
things.
Give me an example. Go on.
It's in the moment. So like I said,
In the moment?
yep,
What do you
in the
mean?
moment. Listen to what I'm saying.
So
Listen.
you talking about hitting below the belt in argument. That's what you talking
No,
about.
I'm not talking about hitting below the belt, but what you just said, that as a man, you guys prioritize what is deemed important to bring to the forefront, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you say to yourself, you know what? I can deal with this. I can live with that. I'm going to get over it and move past it because it's not big enough, right? I'm saying, yes, women do the exact same thing, right? We also do it on a level where we have to protect your ego, because there could be conversations and that need to be had.
Okay, so to me that sounds like no different from a man protecting his woman's feelings.
Okay.
It's the same thing. There's certain things that I probably should say to you that I will not say because I know it will hurt you,
Okay.
and I don't address it because I know it will hurt you.
Okay. Well, there's like I said.
So it goes both ways.
Okay, so it goes both ways.
Okay.
But you talk about dealing with the feelings. We're talking about dealing with the ego.
Well, your
You
feeling.
can still say something. You can still say something to me, and I'll process it, and then I could probably be like, you know what? Okay, I can see that from his perspective, and then we can have a discussion about it. Once your ego is bruised, there's not really much left there, because now you have a bruised ego and you can't see past your ego what it is I'm trying to express to you.
I don't agree with that.
I that's why I like to have these discussions. We can agree to disagree.
I'm talking about for me personally. I'm not talking about man.
Okay.
In this instance, I don't agree with that.
Okay, well, and this is why I like to have these discussions.
Because I feel like we do a great job of communicating when there's issues.
We do,
And
absolutely,
I don't,
that's because we're intentional about it. That's because we're
right.
intentional about it,
I
and
don't
I think
I
that's
don't think
also.
that you could bring an issue to me that would
But
bruise my ego.
I also know, because I know you, I
Mm,
have to be mindful.
stop touching me.
I have to be mindful how I bring information to you.
Likewise.
Because I know your ego
Okay.
will get the best of you. Prime example. What did he say? Because he doesn't want to see, this is exactly what I mean. You don't want to hear it anymore. So now your first response is to say, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. I'm done. Like,
see that wasn't about me not wanting to hear it. It's just we agree to disagree. Oh, we don't agree. There's nothing else to discuss. So wrap it up. See, people, this is the secret to 22 years. See how I've had her laughing this whole time.
Is that what it is?
Yep. But please believe, this not listening thing, she's gonna let this linger for at least 3-4 months.
I mean, it's not something to let linger. It's just in my mind.
She's gonna bring it up every time.
I have taken a mental note.
She's gonna bring it up every time.
I've taken a mental note, and the mental note is,
she gonna listen.
Don't talk to your husband if it's not important, because he's asleep.
Maybe if it's about you, it's important.
No, you're not going to be able to clean it up. You can keep trying all you want to.
I'll fix later on.
You can keep trying all you want to.
I know how to set you straight.
Yeah, I feel like we need to go into a part 2, because there's a lot more that I wanted to dig in.
We can always go into a part 2.
Yeah, we'll probably go into a part 2, because there's a lot more that I want to dig in. I want to kind of get really underneath the surface with this one, and
so
get your point of view on a lot of things, because I really want to talk a little bit more about some of the topics from that clip.
Okay. So then let's give our 2 cents about something, and then we'll do part 2 next week.
We'll probably have to do a part 2.
No, okay. we will do part 2, people.
Okay. All right. So moving on into our 2 cents. Let's see what we have.
Something hilarious. Is it messy?
I don't know because my husband he likes drama. Um, it says I accidentally read a text of my partner and it's not great.
Okay. Did he get
Okay.
fired or something? Or
It says I went through my wife's phone to look up a
right, hold on,
recipe.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Why are you going through your phone?
Listen, he went through his wife's phone to look up a recipe.
Cap,
After unlocking it, the messenger app opened
cap,
and it was about divorce.
cap.
I shouldn't have violated her space. I wasn't trying to. My phone was dead and I was trying to make dinner. But still, I violated her space, especially as I scrolled, I get I got through it. Please be gentle, as in, I'm in a dark place right now. My relationship has been very strained lately, and we had a big fight about 2 nights ago where I needed some short term reassurance in our marriage before making a huge career decision, but ended up going through an internal checklist of every insecurity I had in our relationship. It was awful of me to do that. Today, I grabbed her phone while making dinner and saw she had texted a recently divorced coworker about a job offer I just received. The text that I saw went as follows: the wife's friend. You definitely don't want to move right now for custody reasons, but let's chat about it tomorrow at lunch. And the wife responded, sounds good. He says, I panicked when I saw custody, so I scrolled up and saw this. My wife. His name. Got a job offer 3 states over, but we might be heading towards divorce. Not sure what to do career-wise. The wife's friend said, "Yeah, I totally understand, sadly." The wife, I hate that I'm in this situation. I've tried to avoid it for 2 years, but I think it's inevitable at this point. This friend came up in conversation an hour later as my wife was exploring career moves to mesh with mine, and my wife denied wanting to talk to her about divorce at all. I don't know what to do. Our relationship is coming out of a bad place, but we have made amazing progress and are doing pretty good. So I thought. I've never had my wife lie to me before, so this is earth shattering to me as much as about the notion that she feels divorce is inevitable. Does this mean we're headed for divorce, or she is just in a helpless moment? We just had a big win for us, but this fight might have set us back mentally. Please help. What's your thoughts, champ?
Champ? You ain't never called me champ in your life. Don't do that. No. First of all, sir, you in the wrong.
He was, in all fairness, he was looking for a
Yeah,
recipe.
yeah. You believe that story? I don't.
Oh, okay. I
Um,
believe it.
uh, when you follow flies, you gonna find shit.
What elderly person told you that?
When you follow the flies, eventually you gonna run into some shit.
Okay, so
So here's the thing. As you say, you guys have you have not been the best. And, I mean, it's reasonable to believe that she's felt similar and she's thought about this. But maybe she's having internal dialogue with herself about not necessarily thinking that that is the correct answer, that maybe you guys can work with this. And she may possibly be being coached by this coworker, 'cause misery loves company.
coached.
Yeah, because misery loves company, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, so I would say, sir, that I don't think your wife lied to you, because that conversation she had with her friends was that between her and her friends, and just because those are the words she said to her friend, does not mean that those words are true. She could just be trying to gauge the situation, have outside information, and actually formulate her thoughts. She may be trying to pull in information from various sources. So I don't. I think you're putting more strain and stress on the situation and relationship than what needs to be. And any insecurities you have, it's not up to your wife to secure you. You know, s- you know, insecurity. You got to fix that within yourself. Um, that's why they call it's called insecurity. So you got to fix yourself. So and maybe if you would actually sit down and have an honest conversation about the state of your marriage and figure out what the issues are and what could be fixed, and maybe you guys would come to a rational adult decision about what going forward. Because just because something appears to be a great career move, if the move is not good for the family, is it really a good move?
Or
So,
if, like, if your marriage can't really handle that
so
right now. I get that. Um, First off, I do think that he was just picking up her phone to find a recipe.
naive,
I do not think that
naive. I'm happy. I'm
he
happy you believe that.
I don't think that he was purposely going through her phone,
Okay,
and that's the world that I'm going to live in. Second of all,
for a recipe,
he wanted to cook dinner. That's what he said.
like they didn't have a tablet in the house.
They probably did it. Not everybody does.
Okay,
Although I was thinking, well, where was his phone? But
he said he had to
that's
charge it. His phone was dead.
did he? I don't
Yeah,
remember reading that.
convenient,
Okay. Anyway, he
conveniently
picked
dead.
up his wife's phone to look for a recipe, and that's what I'm sticking to. Anywho,
And the message just happened to open up.
and when the messenger opened up, yes, he admitted to violating her privacy because he started reading, he started scrolling. I think that yes, you definitely need to have a conversation with her to really gauge to see where she is and how serious on the spectrum that she's considering divorce, especially if divorce is something that you don't want. If this is something that you both can agree to work on, like if she wants to work on the marriage to move it forward, I say absolutely do all that you can to save your marriage, right? But it's going to take two people to do that. Like, yes, you can have one person like doing all that they can to essentially save the marriage, but I mean, eventually it's gonna take two to tango. It took two people to get married. There you go. The whole thing with the move, I know you mentioned that it's a big win. I'm assuming it's a big win because it's probably a really big promotion, which also is going to come with a more financial gain. But I mean, that's also you moving. I think it said 3 states over. That's a lot.
It
Like
depends on where the states are.
that's I mean to move in general, but even when you figure that you're moving 3 states over, especially if there's children involved, you're still going to be removing yourself and your family out of your comfort, assuming that you've been in the place that you've been in for quite some time. So that already presents its own challenges.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So I would just say I think there really needs to be a hard conversation about if divorce is really something that's on the table. And if it is if she's feeling like divorce is her only outlet because she is having a moment where she doesn't see how you guys can reconcile,
Mhm.
then that's a conversation that needs to be had. Either they're like she reassured you in the marriage, maybe there needs to be some more reassurance from you to her to put her back into a state of like, okay, maybe everything is not as terrible as I've made it in my head. Maybe we can get back to a place where we both can get back on level ground and we can work through this. But all that's going to come through conversation. And I would also say that don't throw in the towel until you've exhausted every avenue. Till you've exhausted every avenue. Therapy, maybe possibly talking to close married couples that you both know that you both can confide in, getting a different perspective. But don't throw in the towel just because it's like one person mentions divorce and it's like, okay, we're going to divorce. Exhaust all avenues
Yeah.
first.
So basically,
Divorce should be the last stop.
she's saying fight for your marriage if that's what you want.
If that's what you want.
If it's the key word.
If
If I did
if with a big I. If with a big I, not a little I.
Okay.
Okay?
Small F.
No, if with a big I and a big F.
Mm.
Yes. If. Okay? So yeah, so that's today's episode. Oh, I also wanted to say thank you all for 500 downloads.
Oh wow.
I know it may not seem like a lot to, other people, but we just reached one of our first milestones of 500 downloads. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Very excited about that. And then we just got our other first milestone of 5,000 views. So that was really exciting. So thank you guys.
It is more people watching than listening.
It is what?
There's more people. It's like triple amount of people. Most people watch us, not listen to us.
Oh yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, either or, get the content however you want it, girl. Get the content however you want it. It don't matter. We'll keep those YouTube shorts coming.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't
No more. No more. That just made me want to walk away. I said, "Oh my god."
Anyway,
You know what I thought about?
Anyway, thank you guys
When
for
you did
5,000
that-
views and 500 downloads.
we already over time. It don't matter. You know what I thought about when you did that?
What?
Breonna Taylor in that damn movie. Byron.
Byron.
I said, God, I wanted to slap. If you don't shut up.
But yeah, so thanks guys. 500 downloads, 5,000 views. We really appreciate it. Thank you for coming along on this journey.
Tell a friend
with us.
to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Life After I Do podcast. I was about to say the other podcast.
Wow.
About Life After I Do podcast. You get a new episode every Wednesday. So don't forget about that. If you're not doing so already, don't forget to like, follow, and share on social media platforms. You can find us at Life After I Do podcast on our Facebook page, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. New episodes every Wednesday. If you want to reach out to us, if you have a topic in mind, or if you just want to ask a question, you can reach out to us at Life After I Do podcast at gmail.com. And until next week, guys.
Peace, geese.
Peace, geese.